Hello and good evening to all of you. I can see it's already 7:33. We should be starting it. So I don't know if others are going to join us or not, but we will not waste time. Today is the fourth session, and I hope you all have done your homework. So we will start with the sentences first, and gradually we will proceed to reading and critical reasoning. Before I begin, could you please confirm how is the audio quality today? Is it fine? It's good. I'm using my apartment Wi-Fi and my phone is in phone Wi-Fi. So I hope the connectivity. And yesterday I had a no. Yesterday there was no class. Sorry, it was a Saturday. Day before yesterday, Friday we did not have any such issues. So I think hopefully the problem is over of the internet connectivity. So to brush up your basics, all of you, please go through the maths and verbal, the grammar basics which are available in the webinars, and the joining links, recordings and schedules are all available for you at your Jambori portal. All right, we start with the sentences for today's discussion, and this one is the first one. All of you, please have a look and kindly type your answers. I will wait for 1 minute. Also, be ready to use the microphone if I ask anyone to explain, because that enhances the interactivity and confidence of everyone. So I hope you all have your microphones ready to have an interaction and a discussion. Yes, I can see two answers, D, Avinash and Akemi. Raju has also chosen D. What about others? All of you try to participate. Robert, you also going for a D. Bibek, D. Anyone else wants to participate? So, what we have here is a comparison. Remember, whenever a sentence begins with the word unlike or alike, means we are comparing. And as per the grammar rules that we follow in the GMAT, we will compare the part after the unlike. So this part to the part after the comma. See, normally we will, if there is one single comma, let's say there is a single comma and we have the word unlike. So what we are going to compare, we are going to compare the part here with the part here. And it's basically nouns that are being compared with like and unlike. But if you see very carefully, the middle part has two commas, which means it is carrying the extra information. Anything that we find in two commas is what we call as extra information. So we can omit that part. I'll strike it off so that you can omit it, because it is giving extra information about the virginal. So what is the virginal? The virginal is a musical instrument. So this part is giving us extra information. It is working as a modifier. So what is the virginal? The virginal is a single set of strings which runs parallel to the front edge of the instrument. This is not the point of comparison. The point of comparison for us is after the second comma. So when there are two commas, then we ignore the middle part. Sorry, that isn't right. So the sentence will be like this, and we are comparing X here with Y here. After the second comma. So when there is one comma, we compare this part with this part. When there are two commas, we compare this part after the second comma, not the first comma. And you can see here after the second comma, we have the harpsichord several sets of strings. So the point is, can we compare the virginal, which is a musical instrument, with the harpsichord strings? And that sounds like a wrong comparison. We can compare the virginal directly with the harpsichord, or we can compare the virginal's strings with the harpsichord strings, but we cannot compare the virginal. So if I take the point of reference as the virginal, which is a musical instrument, I cannot compare it with the strings of the harpsichord. That's a wrong comparison, which is why we will eliminate option alpha. Because in alpha it has the harpsichord's strings. That's not the right parallel construction or a comparison. So this is both. You can call it as parallelism, or you can also call it as comparison, topic of comparison. We will next go to Bravo, and we will directly go to the second comma and see again it has several sets of strings. Not the right comparison. We eliminate Bravo. Next we go to Charlie, and it has a prepositional phrase in the case of the harpsichord. So when we read in the case of the harpsichord, that becomes a prepositional phrase, and a prepositional phrase cannot be comparable to a noun. We do not need the in the case of part. When we go to D, after the second comma, it directly has the name of the musical instrument, the harpsichord, and we know we can compare the virginal directly to the harpsichord because both are musical instruments. So there is nothing wrong here. So far, D looks like the right answer, but we still have to check out echo. And when you check out echo, it says after the second comma, the harpsichord's strings, same problem which we had in the previous sentences. So now after checking all the options available, the only correct option is D, and D is the right answer which all of you have given. So well done those of you who picked it up, and those who did not, I'm sure you'll be able to do it in the next time. It looks complex, but it's quite easy. If anyone has a doubt, please ask. No doubts, everyone is clear with this. All right, let's go to the next one. Almost the same, but a different question. Could you all of you type your answers here? Could I see more participation? All of you, only one student has participated so far, Avinash. What about the other participants? All right, so majority are choosing Charlie. And Charlie is the right answer. Good job, all of you. Avinash, Sandeep, and Vivek, and Robert. Why Charlie is the right answer? Let me explain. To begin with, we will apply the same logic which we did. So we are going to compare the part after the unlike. So here we are comparing this part with, again, there are two commas. So remember, when we have two commas, we will compare the part after the second comma because the middle part is extra information. And what do we have after the second comma? After the second comma, we have the name of a species of ant. It's called raider ants. So when we have the name of ant, name of a type of ant, name of a type of ant, then how can we have the nests? We should have the name of another type of ant, isn't it? So when we have a name of a type of ant, as in the ununderlined part. So this cannot be wrong. Radar ant cannot be wrong. That means this part is wrong. The nests. So we cannot compare the nests of the leaf cutters directly to the radar ants. That is a wrong comparison, which is why we eliminate alpha, bravo, and echo. Those, what does those refer to? We have no idea. Those can refer to the color, the texture, those can refer to the age, the physical structure, the behavior, the genetics, the DNA. What is those referring to? We have got no idea. Ambiguous. And again, even if it is, let's say, the age of the leaf cutters or the body structure, that will still be incorrect because we cannot compare the body structure or different shapes of the leaf cutters to radar ants. That again will be a wrong comparison. So applying this rule of comparison, or you can also call it as parallelism, we can easily eliminate alpha, bravo, and echo, and our answer choices will be limited to either a Charlie or a Delta. Between Charlie and Delta is the right answer. So Charlie says leaf cutters and most other ants whose nests are situated underground, and after the comma we have radar ants make a portable nest. So that makes sense. We are comparing the nests of each other, the leaf cutters and the radar ants. But what does D have? D says leaf cutters and most other ants in having. In having again is like a prepositional phrase, and that does not compare with situated underground, which is a verb phrase. So when you see we have then the first, the radar ants make is a verb, right? So look at it from a grammar perspective. Make a portable nest is a verb phrase, and situated underground is another verb phrase, and that is parallel. A verb phrase is parallel to a verb phrase, but we cannot have in, which is a prepositional phrase, right? So whose nests are situated underground is parallel with make a portable nest. We are comparing the verbs, and that's the reason Charlie is the right answer. Not in having nests. That is not parallel with the original sentence structure. I hope all of you are clear why C is the right answer. For any doubts and clarifications, feel free to speak or type in the chat box. I would also like all of you to use your microphones. So in this question, no one has a doubt or a clarification. We can move to next one. Let's start with question 3. What option will you select? So far, everyone has selecting a D delta. Let's identify if delta is the right answer. So what we are doing here is again a comparison. You can see we are comparing nouns. So when we compare nouns, we use like, not as. That's the first thing we do. So if you check this question, we start with the first words, and there is a as, and there is a as do, and then there is a just as, with, and then there is a like, and then there is a like, that of. So the thing is, what are we comparing? We are comparing termites with ants. And if you look at A, as with ants, the elaborate social structure of termites. Even if you say the social structure, that's a noun. For nouns, we cannot use as. I think all of you know as is used for verbs, not for nouns. Eliminate. As do ants, termites have an elaborate social structure, which is fine because here we are comparing the verb as do ants, but then so too do the termites would be the right sentence structure, not termites have an elaborate social structure. So here we are beginning with a verb, but after the comma we are having a noun. That wouldn't be the right comparison. If it was as do ants, so too the termites make an elaborate social structure. So that would be more correct, as do ants, so do the termites, or so too termites make. I think we need a make, not have. So have would also not be the right verb. And we need a so, not directly termites. That wouldn't be parallel with each other. In C, we have just as with ants and then termite social structure. So how can you say just as with ants and then termite social structure? In a way, you are comparing something with ants directly to termite social structure. That again is not parallel. So eliminate. That leaves us with delta and echo. Delta says like ants. And remember, after the comma, we have termites. So X and Y are parallel with each other. We have the names of two types of ants. So that is fine. But in echo, we have like that. That of ants, we have got no idea. And then we have the termite social structure. Well, that wouldn't be parallel. It can be like that of ants, the social structure of termites. So if we had social structure of termites, then that would be classified as parallel because that will refer to the social structure of termites. I hope all of you are getting it. I'm sure all of you have already identified it because that has to refer to something. And usually, that should come after the noun because that is a pronoun. So even then it will still be ambiguous. What does that refer to? But even if you want, you could have said like the social structure of ants, that of the termites, that would be parallel. Or like that of ants, social structure of termites, that would be parallel, not termite social structure. So yeah, that leaves us with delta, which all of you have picked up. There is absolutely no mistake. We are directly comparing ants with termites and both are nouns and two types of ants. So like ants, comma, termites, and then the next part, the verb, have an elaborate social structure in which a few individuals reproduce and then the rest remaining part of the sentence. So I hope all of you are clear in case some of you were having a doubt that why D is the best answer, is the only correct answer. We move to a similar question of comparison. So I'm giving you a clue. This is also about comparison. And what options will you all select? Could you type your answers, all of you?